And I'm back, kids. I'm back, and this lesson is huge. We are studying this week photosynthesis. The Astros. Gotta love them. My Stros. I love my Stros. Photosynthesis, kids. This is a huge lesson this week. We are learning about plants and how they are important to our world in real life. We're going to start with this lesson of how plants can make their own energy. This is called photosynthesis. Get your Cornell notes ready. Do all your notes on the right-hand side, of course. Drawings and vocabulary and all your notes and writings and such. Bring them into class, and we will study this in depth further. Let's get going. So what do you see that's in common here? See the picture? See that? What is that machine? How about those? What are those? I know you know what those are. Well, we have a photocopier, we have a photographer, and we have a photograph. So if you haven't got it yet, the prefix is photo. Photo means light. So in this case, photosynthesis is a process that plants use light. So where can it, before we go on, you ever get one of these? You're sitting there and the answers just come to you one day and you're just staring at the ceiling, just, oh my gosh, I got the light bulb moment, kids. You got to have the light bulb moment when the focal turns on, right? I love these. These are great. I love these when they happen in class. Let's go on. Main idea one here. Photo means light, and synthesis means together. So that means that plants can actually use ingredients with sunlight to make something else, which is great because this is going to be the basis for so much learning about how plants are important, because they're not just feeding themselves and living their lives. They're actually the most important component in our ecosystems to allow them to live and us to live, because they're making some awesome stuff. They're making food and they're making oxygen. Photosynthesizing. Some of you asked me in class how you do this. You got to use your muscles. Got to use their muscles. We'll practice that when we get there. So, this ability of plants to transform energy is amazing. They pretty much sit there and they take sunlight, which is called radiant energy. And this radiant energy comes from outer space, from the sun. And when they change it, they make it into a different energy. This different energy is called chemical energy because they're using it in their cells to gobble up energy. This is an amazing process. Not only are they making food for themselves and energy, they're also doing some other amazing things that help you live. So next time you want to show a little appreciation for Mother Earth, why don't you just go outside and plant a plant? That's amazing because you're going to make the ecosystem a better place. So the ingredients of photosynthesis, we start with CO2, carbon dioxide. Remember that from our organic lesson? So carbon dioxide, they love it. They gobble it up. They just eat it out of the atmosphere. It's a gas. It's a gas, not to be confused with another gas that we're going to mention a little later. And of course, plants need water. They love water. Without water, what happens to plants? They wilt, right? And that is very bad because the wilting will not allow the plant to grow and photosynthesize. So they need their water. They will make for you and me. They'll make sugar, which is called glucose. Now, this isn't Snickers kind of sugar or Red Bull kind of sugar, right? You're going to gobble that up. No. This glucose sugar is a simple sugar, and it tastes nothing like that. This is a sugar that they can use in their own little cells for energy. And they make for you oxygen. Oxygen. You want to breathe? You want to live? You want to have your lungs filled up when you're outside? You need oxygen. Well, guess what? You need plants to get oxygen. Plants photosynthesizing produces the oxygen that humans need to survive. Imagine a world without plants, without vegetation, where we tear down the forests and the trees. That is not a world that we can live in. We have to preserve and take care of these plants so that we can have the oxygen that we need. Remember that, kids. And of course, a little sunlight there. Hey, bro, do you lift? So what other things can plants do? Well, number one, they take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. That's a good thing because carbon dioxide is a harmful gas that can be poisonous, and it can also heat up the earth dangerously. So we need more plants to gobble that carbon dioxide out. They make oxygen. Enough said, kids. There's no more than be said. Oxygen is super important. What kind of sugar is this? This is called glucose. Glucose is the basis for almost all energy that other animals will live by. So think of it this way. The cow eats the plant, you eat the cow, you go to McDonald's. That's the basis of that energy. Without the plants making photosynthesis happen, you don't get that Big Mac at McDonald's, kids. I can assure you that. Cash Me Outside girl? Yeah, she wouldn't be around to be making her millions, of course. Now, if you want to check out how students are using plants and photosynthesis in the real-world applications, check out this YouTube clip. It's pretty amazing. It's on my channel. It's going to blow your mind what kids are doing with some of the experimentations. Now, if you could go outside and do this, you'd never be hungry, right? You'd probably look like this, though. So you see how easy it is for plants to make their energy? They pretty much eat up the sunlight. You, on the other hand, are eating a 10-pound burger. Am I right? Doesn't that look good? So how do plants eat? Well, plants eat by using leaves. Cactuses are leaves. That's a Venus flytrap. That's a form of a leaf. Here are different shaped leaves. They will use those leaves to capture photosynthesis wherever it happens. I don't know if you know this, but plants will actually grow their leaves to certain shapes and sizes depending on where they live so they can catch sunlight. And one other thing. What's one other thing that plants need to survive? Remember? Water. They will grow their leaves to capture sunlight and water. It's amazing. We'll check out rainforests and how plants do that. It's pretty amazing. So have you ever wondered why plants are green and you're not? We're not green. At least not until when we're sick, though. But why are plants always green? Well, that's because they have these beautiful little structures inside of them called chloroplasts. They are membrane-bound organelles that the plant has, and the sunlight that is trapped by them is captured in these little organelles. Chloroplasts is where they are stored, and where that green happens, we call their liquid chlorophyll. I want you to draw one of these in your notes, please, and bring it back to class so we can study them a little further. Inside of these chloroplasts, this is where the action happens. This is where the magic happens. That glucose energy is being produced right inside. And yes, they do really look like that. Let me show you some microscopic views. Take a look here. See the small little green structures right there? Those are chloroplasts being viewed through a microscope lens right there. Here are some more close-ups of some chloroplasts through a microscope view. And this is an actual electron microscope view, a half and half image. In one half you can see the actual image, and then the other half is where the artist drew it. They really are amazing little structures because they make the plant green, and they make that glucose happen, which in turn is the basis of energy. So let's recap one more time because I know this has been a big lesson. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants make their own food, glucose, from sunlight, which is called radiant energy, and they convert it into chemical energy. So what is it that plants can do for us in the future? Is it possible that plants can do more than just photosynthesize? Can they produce electricity? Is it possible that their energy can be harnessed and can be used for mankind in some way? How are humans affecting the environment? And how does that affect plants? And in turn, if we affect those plants, how are they going to affect us through their consequences? These are all questions that are positively and negatively thought out that we should consider as we're going forward in humanity, because plants and humans have to live together for this beautiful reason of photosynthesis. It's not just about them living, but it's also about our living. So these are the vocabulary words that you have to know. Please check them in your notes, and please write them down. If you need to rewind, please rewind and get that information down and bring it to class. Kids, you guys have been awesome. I want you to be like Nacho. You're the best. And go away. Read some books. All right. I will see you next time. From Mr. Land to you.